But first, I want to get to the captain's question. And this is another getting to know your crew, and perhaps a bit of an odd one. But the question is, and let me also give some detail afterwards, but what is your favorite fast food restaurant and why? Now, for those of you guys in New York, uh, I know you might not have fast food as much as everyone else. I know you have them, and they're like 3 stories tall. But I'll also say like little food trucks, like hot dog or pretzel
Oh
trays,
yeah, yeah.
and like a little just little pizza you run in on the counter or whatever and get it to go. Those will count. It doesn't have to be a chain. It can be mom and pop. That works. But anyone want to go first?
I can hit that question because my favorite actually does happen to be a chain. I actually really appreciate Chipotle as one of my favorite restaurants. I do
Oh,
like
that's some good stuff right there.
it is some of my favorite stuff right there. And I will tell you, I like it so much that one day I actually went out and I had myself a beautiful burrito. I watched them make every ingredient in it and they put it and they wrapped it up and I was so excited for it in that little tinfoil wrapper. And so I was driving home with it sitting on the passenger side and I was just so ready to sink my teeth into it. But then this moof milker in front of me stopped short and I had to slam on the brakes. And my poor burrito actually rolled right out of the tinfoil and it landed right on the car seat floor.
No.
I
Oh,
was,
that's just
I was
harmful.
so
No.
devastated. But I
No.
do have to
Yeah.
say I still ate that.
I would.
Wow.
Yeah, I ate
Is
that
it a
burrito.
5-second
Brushed
rule
off.
for the floorboard of the car? Or
Well,
is
see,
like
it
some
would have been.
extenuating number there.
It would have been, but let me tell you something, J-Bot. I had traffic behind me, and after the car started moving again, I had one hand on the wheel, I had my foot on the pedal, and I was reaching all the way down, trying to pick up this burrito and try and get all the ingredients back. And I was like, "No, for the love of
Oh wait, so the
Sidious, I gotta
burrito
get
wait,
this
wait, wait,
in."
the burrito opened too?
There was like a little bit of it that had opened, and I was desperately trying to keep the
Oh my
innards
God.
in.
I
It was
don't know.
just a.
And I thought my catastrophe, like when a bag spills over when I'm turning and all the fries go out, was bad. That's horrible. That's heartbreaking.
I did have a big gulp fall on the floor of my car, and it was that particular car, Chevy Cavalier at the time. It was kind of the middle split the two sides, so it was just really for the driver, and I had like an inch of soda on the floor.
Oh boy.
Like I
Oh,
had to
yeah.
like
Oh,
I had
yeah.
to like
Little big gulp soda foot bath going
I
on
had
there.
to bucket it out.
I had
Jeez.
I won't go into the whole long story because I can tell long stories, but my friends know it as the Great Spill of '97. It's the last time I've ever drank a Dr. Pepper because basically I caught the soda. I won't give you all the details, but I caught the cup in midair. That'll give you some kind of
Oh
perspective.
my gosh.
And I gorilla gripped it. I was so excited. I got it, and it just blew up in my hand. And from that day forward, this is my old car. The air conditioning vents were glued into place. It went everywhere. I mean, windshield, me, steering wheel, but they were glued in place. The tape deck. Yes, this is an old car. Like it smoked. If it ever put a tape into it, it would smoke because it was burning all the Dr. Pepper out of it. So
Oh my
I
Lord.
know that feeling of spilled drinks and
You
food.
know, my last car that had tape deck was just what, a year and a half ago. So I don't buy new cars because I'm a cheap
You don't say.
sucker. And I think does even my new car? I think it might actually have a tape deck. My current one, I just never used it, but it does still have a tape deck. 2013 or 2003. My mistake.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, so Jake, that's yours. Chipotle, excellent choice. Who wants to wait? I want J-Bot to go because he's going to get upset that Phil stole his
Oh,
his choice.
there's little chance in heck that he's gonna steal mine. Actually, it's a toss up between two, and they're not chains. They're mom and pop stores. And they're both back where I grew up. One of them is in High Point. It's called the Biscuit Factory, but it's actually like a biscuit. It's like a greasy spoon grill. They do cheeseburgers, hot dogs, that sort of stuff. And just to give you some perspective on how kind of popular this place is, because it's a mom and pop place. They open at like 4 or 5 in the morning and close at like 2:30, and pretty much around the clock they've got a line of cars out the door because senior citizens hit it early in the morning, regular folks hit it right before lunch, and then the college people that right across the town hit it kind of right after lunch.
When they wake up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're there. I mean, trust me, you see them there in pajamas and slippers and stuff coming in there. And the other one, I know I'm choosing two, but it's kind of a toss up.
That's fine. That's fine. I
Is,
did like 4 for my favorite ship or something.
Yeah, and is a little place that only people in Greensboro, North Carolina, will recognize. It's called Kyoto Express. And if you go on, you go on like
Greensboro.
Yeah, if you go to Yelp or all these funky little places that do reviews, you got these snooty people saying, "Oh, it's 2 stars. It's blah blah blah," and it's like, well, it's been there for 25 years. It's either really good or they're paying somebody off to keep that place open. And the reason I love it, when I lived in that area, I went there 2 times a week. I could pull my car up in the parking lot and they're already making my food in the back. Like they just, well, there's Jonathan. He's coming in.
Yeah.
And I skip the line, dump my money on the counter and walk back out. And they just remember you. And I hadn't been there in a year. I come back in and it's the same way. They remembered me after over a year of having been there. And like, that's the type of place I love, those little mom and pop stores.
That's cool.
They really appreciate the customers that kind of frequent them over and over again. They recognize you, love you. I love those types of places.
I can say in Greensboro, because I went to UNCG. There's a place called Jack's Corner Mediterranean, and they have
heck yeah.
They have the best steak and cheese sub I have ever had. They like marinate the meat, and it's so good. It's not my choice. I'm just saying, if you're ever in Greensboro, Jack's Corner, right near the university, it's amazing.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's mine. I'll go Kyoto over Biscuit Factory, but that's mine.
Wait. Before we move on, I gotta ask, Phil and Jake, do you know what a biscuit is?
Yes.
Like you've had a real one.
Is this something north south? They don't have biscuits in the north. I'm
well, it's like a bagel. Like we have bagels now in the south, but I remember moving down in the '80s, and people didn't know what a bagel was. Like they're like, a what? Oh, you mean that really chewy, hard, horrible donut?
That is kind of what they look like.
I don't know. I've lived with biscuits my whole life.
Okay.
I'm not really sure how you could avoid that.
Well, you are multicultural in New York City, so I understand.
The real question is, people from the north, have you ever had biscuits and gravy? Because
I am well acquainted.
Yes, let's put it this way. I was so well acquainted at one point in my life that my doctor literally told me, you cannot eat biscuits and gravy anymore. It was a heartbreaking day. It was very depressing. But so I've gone a decade without eating biscuits and gravy. I'm so sad.
That is pretty sad. I should probably go next. So my favorite fast food in New York City here is it's a street cart that is usually parked outside the hospital where my graduate school is, and they make a pretty mean lamb gyro or lamb on rice.
Oh, are you talking about the street meat on the cart street meat?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, completely addicting, 100%. Probably very unhealthy, but I can't even stop eating it.
Probably. Are you? Is there like confusion that this might be not unhealthy?
I don't know. Lamb is pretty good for you.
I do like lamb, but you get a lot of people that are kind of picky, about eating it. So
I don't know whether this street meat is or is not lamb. I cannot confirm or deny, but I will never stop eating it. The special sauce is just ridiculously good.
They get really, a lot of them make their own sauces, and they're sort of like very.
Tzatziki?
It's not a tzatziki sauce, but it's vaguely similar. It's a white sauce. They probably have a real name for it that they don't tell us, but and they're very proud of their hot sauces, especially. Like they'll usually have like one white sauce that they put on pretty much anything, and then they had but in back of them they have like 4 or 5 different bottles of hot sauce that they like keep in reserve for the people who are like hot sauce connoisseurs.
Yeah.
There's probably like
reserve, like it's a wine.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, the 93. Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
you know, I'll say I lived in Scotland for a little bit after college. I bartended and worked overseas. And over there, they don't really have gyros, but they have doner kebabs. And
oh,
it's funny because
yeah.
FFG had a thread about like, what's weird about Britain or what do you miss about Britain? And people were like, oh, I really miss the doner kebabs, like, you know, British expats in the U.S. or elsewhere. And I know what they mean. Doner kebabs are more in a pita shell, but it's very similar. They don't
Yeah.
have tzatziki. They have like some spicy sauce. But I went to this place and it was like 2 quid. So it was like $2 or so, $3 for a doner kebab, a complete big old thing for like so cheap. But you couldn't sit in their restaurant. They had no room. It was just a counter, and they would give you one of those little tiny napkins from those little machines. You know, they'll pull one out. They would not give you any more than that. This is a big old messy thing, and I would have to save that napkin until I was done. So I would eat this thing and be slobbering and dripping, and I'd finally finish it. And I'd take this little napkin and try to like get my mouth at least, so that people didn't, kids didn't run screaming down the street. When I was walking around dripping in this stuff, but.
That's
Doner kebabs are good.
Yeah, I can confirm that. I had those in Germany as well when I was in there, and those were one of our favorite chain restaurants to go to.
I'm starting to think
Pretty
we need a spin-off podcast on just food.
All right,
We
yeah.
might be.
We're just gonna
That's
run.
it for this episode, folks. Thanks for
We're gonna
joining
run
us
an
on our
hour talking
food
about
cast.
All right, I'll go.
Food of next week.
I will say I did enjoy the. I was just listening to the latest one about the superheroes, and I actually really enjoyed that whole conversation. And the Facebook page went live with it too. But I'll be quick, and I'll say for favorite fast food in my area, and it's probably because there's not one really near where I live. So when I get to go to it, it's kind of special. And it's also the one thing that when I take the family with my high school, daughter and, getting into ready to middle school son and wife, it's the one thing that everybody can agree on that there's something they'll eat. It's Taco Bell. Now, I've also lived in Texas. There's a lot of like much better taco chains in other places of the world in the country than Taco Bell. But where I live now, for fast food with a drive-through, there is not a single other Mexican Tex-Mex option at all. And Taco Bell is one of those places that everybody in the family can get it, and it's better than burgers. And I don't know, I can go get stuff. Runner-up would be Cookout, which you can get like a platter, which you can get like a burger, a corn dog, and fries for like $5. It's amazing. But that's all.
Yeah, I don't know if Cookouts are, I think, a local chain. I don't think they've spread too far, but they're actually really good. They try. I don't think they cook on an actual grill, but it's definitely better in my opinion than like McDonald's and stuff like. And
Oh, yeah.
surprisingly cheap, believe it or not.
Oh yeah, and they have the milkshakes where they actually blend in like the
Oh, yeah,
Reese's
dear
Cup
God.
and all the other
Yeah,
stuff.
don't
Their
go by there
milkshakes
and-
are crazy.
Yeah, don't go by a Cookout and say, you know what, I'm not really sure what milkshake I want because it's half the menu. Like,
It's like 50
legitimately.
flavors. Seriously,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
And that's without the seasonal stuff like eggnog and
Oh
that
yeah,
crazy
eggnog's
stuff.
so good. Yeah, yeah. So it's either Taco Bell because I get to do it so rarely, or Cookouts usually more around. They are supposed to be building a Taco Bell around the corner, so I might get sick of it enough. And I know it's not great, it's not amazing. It's fast food. That was my question.